If you work in employee communications, then no doubt you understand the importance of measuring the impact of your employee communications. But many in my audience don't have that ability. They don't have the software. They don't know how to do it. Well, today I'm talking to Michael DesRochers, who is the founder of Playmail. Michael, you have software that could solve this problem. But let me start by saying why. Why are we in this situation where many employee communicators don't have any idea whether people are opening up their, say, email-based newsletter?
Right. Well, for most corporations are using Outlook and Exchange as their email distribution method. External marketers have the benefit of email marketing tools, various tools, even today's social media, all provide some sort of analytics and metrics, whereas nothing really exists for Outlook and Exchange. Other than the old read receipt, which we call rude receipts. That's where the Playmail name came from originally. Is no one likes to get those things and get interrupted and have to say, yes, I want to tell you that I received the message. So what Playmail is going to do is add some tools to the Outlook Exchange environment and let you get those metrics without having to do anything else different. You just flip a switch. Playmail is going to start measuring the emails you send through Outlook. So you'll be able to get the open rates, click-through rates, all the measurement you need to decide if your email is working, how you can improve it, that type of thing.
So you have the open rate and the click-through rate, and everyone who's watching this that comes from a marketing background knows what that means.
Yeah, those are the baseline metrics.
But then you also get things like time spent on the page, which is fabulous.
Yeah, read time is a new metric that we're offering. It's basically tracking, did people, open rate tells you did they display the message. It could be in the preview pane, they could double click to look at it. The problem with open rate is it doesn't really tell you did they read it. If they clicked, of course, they engaged at some level, but there's lots of people that open the message and completely ignore it. There's other people that open it and read all the content but don't necessarily click. So read rate is going to tell you, what level of engagement did they have with the content. It's really good for executive communications. It's a lot of strategy, ideas, directives, not necessarily click actions. So with read time, you can actually see how many people actually read that content.
Wow, that's incredible. I can see how the uses would be for that. If I have a CEO communication that's going out, I want to be able to go back to the C-suite and say X number of people read it or didn't read it.
Right.
And tell me about your client base. Who do you serve right now with Playmail?
Yeah, it's mostly large, Fortune level companies. A lot of companies 5,000 employees and up. So any company that is basically doing broadcast email but internal email. That's where you really need the metrics. If you have a few hundred people, we have some clients that are smaller, several hundred, still want to be able to get the metrics. But when you're dealing with communications going out to thousands of people, that's where the measurement analytics is going to play an important role.
Okay, so I'm going to have some fun here, and I'm going to channel IT. I'm going to channel IT. I'm in
My favorite subject.
I'm in the meeting with you. So we can't do that. I mean, how do I know that your system is secure?
Right. Yeah, we get that. We've been through, we have some large tech companies as clients. We've been through their InfoSec review process. We have two offerings. You can cloud host the server end or install it internally. So for any companies, it's kind of funny the way it works out. The more technologically oriented the company, the more likely they are to go with the cloud. We still have to go through the security process. Our cloud offering is different than say a Salesforce.com, which is like a shared cloud environment, multiple clients sharing one big system.
Yes.
Ours are dedicated to a client, so you can lock it down to a specific IP address. So particularly for email and internal communications that are going through that, for good reasons, companies want that secure. They want to be able to lock it down and know that there's no shared databases, no other clients have access to that server. So that's how we provide our cloud-based services. But for companies that want to keep all that information internal, we have an on-premise solution they can install and run. Standard Windows, Microsoft architecture, plugs into their Outlook Exchange environment without requiring any changes to Exchange, which is usually the first question we get is, what do we have to change with Exchange? We don't like to touch that thing, and we don't have to do that. There's just some services that need to be activated so Playmail can talk to Exchange. But beyond that, there's no.
So you got that question covered.
Oh yeah, we've been through that many times. It's still, it's really only about a couple hours, 2 to 4 hours worth of work on the IT side to implement the solution, but it's always a lot more time than that to get there, to answer all the IT questions and get through that security review process.
Sure. Can you tell us any of your clients, or is that?
Yeah, a lot of the larger ones have the no publicity clause, but the ones I can mention, Cisco, JLL, Jones Lang LaSalle is a big real estate company. Children's Hospital, Philadelphia, VMware, Bechtel. So
those are pretty big names.
Yeah,
that's great. Wow. And are you growing right now? How's the business going?
Yeah, business has been great. You know, there's as far as we know, there's no one else that's really doing this inside of Outlook and Exchange. So for companies that really just, you know, they don't want to change their email process, but they do want the metrics. We also have some tools that enable them to standardize and create HTML messages in a simpler fashion. So we have some HTML tools as well as some list management tools. Some of our larger accounts, you know, the 75, 100, 150,000 plus employee companies, it seems like they don't necessarily have up-to-date Active Directory-based distribution lists. A lot of them, to pull a live list of current employees, they need to do it out of an SAP or a PeopleSoft system. So to do that, Playmail has some list management tools that allows you to pull those lists out of those systems, import them into Playmail, and then be able to send to them. And a lot of times that process will save a lot of the internal process. You know, a lot of times they pull that list out of, say, SAP that needs to get uploaded into Exchange, and then it may take a week before they're able to actually send to it. With Playmail, it could be an hour to get that all done.
Thank you so much for coming in. This is great because I can't tell you how many communicators come up to me at my conferences and say, I need help here because I have this email-based newsletter and I have no way of knowing if anybody's reading it. So
right, yeah, analytics and measurement helps you, improve your communications.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
All
Appreciate
right.
it.
Thank you.